it's a terrible challenge for the Orthodox. You can walk along the streets in Maya Sharim and you can see posters which say about how women who don't wear long skirts, how they're going to be burning in hell from the up to the point where the knees are. So you've got this communities incredibly devoted. For example, I visited a really amazing city called Svat. It's 4 holy cities in Judaism: Jerusalem, Tiberias, Hebron. Jerusalem, because you know Jerusalem, King David, the Messiah. Hebron, because that's where King David was first crowned. Tiberias, because that's where the Sanhedrin went after the temple was destroyed in the time of Jesus. The law court, the highest law court, went over there. And Svat, which is the mystical city. After Isabel and Ferdinand cast out all the Jews from Europe, many really great mystics moved from Spain and headed over to Svat. And that's where Kabbalah comes out of, this deep mystical tradition. It's all built up. It's not coming from there, but it's built up around there. So I went up there, and one guy was weighing up whether or not he wanted to be a Christian, which is very risky. He lost his wife as a result. But anyway, it's a very serious case. So then I was walking the street one day, and I was hanging with the Orthodox. And when I tend to hang with the Orthodox, I tend to respect their culture, and I won't tell them you need to repent and believe in Jesus. I'll just kind of hang and learn. But crazy story, I'm in a party with all these Orthodox Jews and all these young people who I discovered are exactly the same as normal young people in England. They're the same. They're all checking each other out, wondering who's going to be who with who. It's all the same, but they got all the regalia, and they're praying so many hours a day. You're going to hear it in a second. So I accidentally spoke in tongues. Accidentally, it just came out. So a young man says to me, "What was that? What was that?" And I looked at the guy who had invited me in, and I'm thinking I shouldn't really disrespect the space. But he seemed to give me the nod. So I said, "Oh, it's just a prayer language which we've been given to pray with, you know. Chaim." Wow, man, that's really cool, man. Oh my goodness. What we think of as being humble and putting away from ourselves, among the yeshiva students, it's like you're saying you're a prophet. You know, we say, "Oh, it's not me. I didn't do it. It was the Lord." That's like saying you're a prophet in Jewish religious Orthodox culture, you know?
Right.
And
yeah.
So, you know, we had a nice chat for about an hour afterwards, and you learn things. But in that city, I was walking along at night, and I was determined not to go into the synagogue like Jesus did, because Jesus literally sent me up to the city after Resurrection Sunday. So I was literally given a dream in Jerusalem, collect money and go. And I knew that it was to go up to the north and to Svat. So I get this dream. I get to the church. After the service, the lady comes to me, an African lady. She says, "The Lord told me to give you some money. Do you mind?" I said, "No." So she hands me the money under the table. An American sister comes over and she takes me outside. She said, "Anthony, you're very precious in the eyes of the Lord. And I've been thinking to bless someone before I go back to America, and they're not here. Would you mind if I give you something?" "Yeah, go ahead." And then a Filipino sister also gave me something. So now I knew I had to go to the north after this Resurrection Sunday. God had given me the money. So I'm in the city. I had that little incident. I'm walking around at night, and there was a group of Breslovers. These go with the Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, a really great rabbi who I was studying, because in a dream I was called Eddie Nachman. And when I discovered Rabbi Nachman in Israel, I just thought there's some connection here. So they said, I was walking along, there's like 10 of them, and there's me, and I'd already determined I'm not going to go in the synagogue and preach. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to, you know? And then they said, someone said to one of them, "He's a missionary." That's the worst thing you can be in Israel, a missionary. Missionaries are respected in Africa. They are utterly despised in Israel.
Right.
Same with Islamic communities, but especially in Israel. He's a missionary. So then one of them started to go for me. He said, the Talmud says we can kill a goy, and you're a goy. And the Talmud says this, and I'm feeling it. It's like I'm feeling it, and I'm thinking, man, if this is what I get for not preaching, and I used to be a turn and burn preacher, but you've seen the change in the book. If this is what I get for not preaching, I'll be darned if I'm not going to preach. So I said, you guys need to repent. They said, repent? We've been repenting all day. So this is the atmosphere. I'm thinking, how can I talk to these people? They study Torah 18 hours a day. Study. In fact, if you follow the instructions of the rabbi from 1810 or so, you need 36 hours in the day to complete your obligations.
Wow.
If you studied, And I'm thinking, how can I even talk to these guys? They're so dedicated, And so then I said to them, you guys are supposed to be light. And then I pointed to the guy who said, we can kill a guy. I said, this is darkness. And I said, you guys are supposed to be this. This is something else. And then they said, anyway, why are you coming to Spa? What are you doing here? I said, I came to study Rabbi Nachman, who was their rabbi. He's from 200 years ago, but he's their rabbi. And so I told them about my dream with the name Nachman. And they said, we're giving him too much power. We're giving him too much power. And they all ran away.
Meaning they were giving you too much power?
Because they were listening, and they're very spiritual. And when they hear spiritual experience, it really does make them think. When as a Christian, I get up in a rabbinic Shabbat meal. Every Shabbat, you can go to a Rabbi Maklas, Jew, Christian, non-Jew, it doesn't matter. We all go, and anyone can share a word of encouragement, but we have to respect their tradition. So I can't get up and start talking about Jesus, but I can get up and start talking about the Psalms and what I learned today. So I would get up in the community and the meal, and I would start sharing about what God had shown me that day. And then the young yeshiva students who were studying day and night, they would come to me, they would say, what's your secret? How do you get all that knowledge about the Psalms? I said, oh, it's not me, it's the Lord. That was a mistake. That makes you a prophet. So it's a beautiful culture.